I was sent a clip last week by Jason Ackerman. Jason sent some information in about this subject before. And in this clip, it's a Zoom call between Raghu Malhotra, the president of MasterCard for the Middle East and Africa, Joy Ajlouni, the co-founder of Fetcher and an investor, and it was mediated by Euronews anchor Rebecca McLaughlin-Easton. It was a conversation for the World Government Summit, which was started in 2013 and which is now held every year in Dubai. So every year, various influential people from the political and business world come together in Dubai to essentially decide how they're going to shape worldwide government in the coming year. All kinds of big names have spoken at the event over the years. And in this particular Zoom call, which is specifically focused on the emergence of a cashless society due to COVID-19, Raghu Malhotra and Joy Ajlouni start saying some quite interesting things about it. So I'm just going to play the clip, see what you make of it, and then I'll talk about it with some bullet points afterwards.
So in my experience, one of the greatest obstacles we have for growth is cash. Everything in my experience, and again, I'm speaking in my experience as somebody who ran a logistics company, COD is still 97% of all transactions. So there is a way of doing business here, which is cash driven, which still has not been disrupted to eliminate cash because of what I talked about earlier, which is behavior. Changing behavior is a really tough thing to do. And I think the next big win will be disrupting this cash business, because in spite of this, e-commerce has grown in leaps and bounds, even with this obstacle of cash on delivery. So I think that's something that digital economy, the innovation going forward, and how do we eliminate cash is definitely something that's going to, catapult the ecosystem here for sure.
Yes, please, Raghu.
I just can't help just jump in every time George speaks. I couldn't agree more, and that's why I said I think it's the evolution of cash. Joy, I have some figures which I actually was just looking at just 2 days back. So just give us a sense of what might be happening. But before I get there, I don't know how many people know, they all think cash is for free. Cash costs between 25 basis points to 150 basis points in every single economy around the world. Now, when you're growing your economy at 4% and you have a cost base of just putting in printing cash, this is the actual physical side of it. The fact that they're not included because they're using cash is a separate aspect of why economies don't grow in them. So that itself, if you would eliminate, is the sort of value you create.
I sorry to interrupt you, but I agree with you 100% on what you're saying. But I can tell you that there needs to be a disruption in fintech. This is the region that, people always say to me, well, is there opportunity here? Absolutely, there's opportunity in the Middle East. Absolutely, and the biggest opportunity is in fintech, because this is the area that needs disruption. If you can disrupt people feeling more comfortable not to use cash, then you are going to evolve here as the next unicorn, because that is the magic sauce. Because the banking industry, again, and I say this with respect, has a lot of rules and regulations that cause you, not to be dramatic, but to cause you to have your hands tied. So you want to grow, but yet, this is something that needs to change. And I think that this is something that everybody is focusing on. Fintech, the banking sector, how do you disrupt this region? And I'm excited about it because I think it's like a ripe fruit picked, when you see a fruit on the tree, ripening, just ready to be picked. And like I said earlier, despite all of these things, e-commerce is still booming in this region of the world. Imagine. So I'm excited about it. And as an investor myself, whenever I see something in fintech, I'm always excited to hear it, because I've experienced it and I know how exciting and how lucrative this aspect can be. And I'm sure that you would agree with me, Raghu, that eliminating cash will definitely boost the economy.
Raghu,
I agree. I totally agree with her. So, we've just seen contactless payments as well as e-commerce has actually doubled since just the beginning of the year. I'm not going to give you stats over last year because that's just barometer. I'm just talking about in 3 months. So normally to actually double growth probably takes you 24 months in a very fast-paced sector. right? If you're really doing a great job, it takes you 24 months to start to double your growth in there. And I'm already talking about billions of dollars from our systems that already are transacted in that e-commerce world. That's all happened in less than 2 months. So it just gives you
well, if you want to talk to me offline about my ideas of how to definitely come up with something disruptive, I can give you, my 6-7 years experience in dealing with COD as 97% of my business. So glad to give you some tips offline.
I will happily take them, Joy.
Don't do it offline. Let's talk about it online. We all want to be privy to these interesting conversations.
So this is what I pulled out of that conversation. Number one, it's not just that a cashless society is happening by some natural evolution, although that is part of it. It's that the existence of cash is annoying to people who work in the financial sector. It's an obstacle to their goals, and they stand to profit from its removal. It would be a lucrative thing for them if they could just get rid of it. So some of the most influential people in finance are actively pursuing the end of cash. Secondly, coronavirus has really accelerated the move towards a cashless society. And we've talked about this in previous videos this year. Raghu said that what would normally have taken 24 months to happen has now happened in less than 3 months due to COVID. But number three, it hasn't caused the complete change of behaviour that they hoped it would. Joy said that human behaviour is a really difficult thing to change, and still too many people were using cash for her liking. And so number four, and this one's particularly interesting, that Joy therefore talked repeatedly about the need to, in her words, disrupt cash use on purpose. In other words, force people to change, give them no choice but to change their behaviour through some kind of premeditated disruption to the cash economy. And it appears as though she has ideas for how to do this, how to disrupt the cash use. Apparently there are tactics that can be deployed, and she seems pretty confident that if they were deployed, it could put an end to cash completely, and in her words, that would just be a big win. And then number six, and finally, and this one's also interesting, she was only willing to talk about those disruptive ideas off camera, which I think can only mean a couple of things. Either these ideas are a bit shady, a bit immoral, a bit dubious, or perhaps she thinks that if she was to reveal these ideas in public, that might diminish their effectiveness when they were deployed, because people would now be aware of what was happening. Those are the only two reasons that I can think of why she wouldn't want to talk about it on camera, and overall, it just makes it sound a bit shady. If you're not Christian and you're watching this thinking, why are Christians interested in all of this anyway? Well, it's because the Bible prophesies that in the end times, a world government will emerge, and it will be a cashless society. So to hear some of the most powerful people in politics and finance stating as part of a world government summit that their desire is to abolish cash, and then hinting that they have the mechanisms available to do it, that's just a very interesting thing to hear about. And now if something happens in the future that is incredibly disruptive to cash use, then you now know it was probably planned that way, and someone somewhere is probably celebrating pretty hard about it. I should also say for balance though that using a debit card or a credit card or using your phone to make a payment is not the mark of the beast. You can do it, it's fine, it's no problem. But all of this just shows that we are very definitely heading in the prophesied direction. We can see this world coming over the horizon now.
Yeah, hi Paula. Do you mind putting me on hold so I can listen to the voicemail or the recording that's playing? I know, that's kind of strange. There's just a recording I heard on there recently, and I just want to hear it again. My name's Jason Ackerman, in case you want to know. We've spoken plenty of times.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your patience while on hold. We're experiencing a higher than normal volume of calls. Someone will be right with you.
As the world moves toward a cashless system, a space-age credit card is your ticket to good, clean fun. Take advantage of our low rates.